So today I want to talk about two of my favorite movies of all time, Dark City and The Matrix. So this is the entire Matrix collection. This here is Dark City in Blu-ray, but I just recently got Dark City 4K limited edition. And these two have always been compared to each other because they were released about a year apart. Dark City came out in 1998, and then The Matrix came out in 1999. And I think practically everybody in the world knows of The Matrix and how popular and how iconic it has been in the world of film. But Dark City was also popular for a different reason. This was not a box office success. It has a cult following which has grown over the years, and thankfully more people got to see this movie and appreciate what it has to offer. And so today I'm going to be giving you some of my thoughts on both of these movies, what I like about them, and also at the end, which one do I like better in terms of my overall favorite. So let's start off with the one that practically everybody in the world knows about, and that is The Matrix. In this case, I have the Matrix collection. This is in both Blu-ray and 4K. It's all the Matrix movies, and I really did love the first Matrix. It is absolutely one of my favorite movies. It's in my top 5 of all time. It's probably number 2. I love it that much. And the rest of the movies, well, let's just say they didn't live up to the original. And honestly, I don't think you could reproduce what The Matrix Part 1 was able to do. And the Wachowskis did a wonderful job. And of course, the superb cast led by Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, absolutely stellar. And so one of the best things that The Matrix did was it introduced a world that we have seen before in sci-fi before, but in a way that just felt so fresh, so new, especially with Keanu Reeves' performance. And I know he's not the best actor in the world, but at least for this movie, he was perfect for it, where you didn't really know what was going on. You kind of thought this was just another normal run-of-the-mill movie, and then that changed, once Hugo Weaving, which I love Hugo Weaving in this movie, once they showed up, well, things did change. And then the machines and everything else, the overall story, the whole world building was just awesome. And then, of course, the special effects, especially with bullet time. Whenever I saw this as a kid, I was just absolutely blown away. And it's one of those moments where you're just like, wow, I've not seen anything quite like that before. And by the end of The Matrix 1, I already knew this was going to be one of my favorite movies of all time. And to this day, it still is. Which leads me to Dark City. Because even though The Matrix came out after Dark City, I did not see Dark City until much later. Now, this movie was very similar as well. You have the main character, Russ, played by Russell Sewell, where he just woke up. He doesn't know what's going on. He's in this world that seems like a normal world, except it's set in the 40s, it seems. But then, as you're going through this whole journey, and John Murdoch is the name of the character Rufus Sewell plays, you don't really know where you're at. And then when the strangers show up and everything else, very similar to the agents here in The Matrix, well, things change. And what you thought was real is no longer real. And that's why I think these two movies are compared to each other so often, because they have a lot of similar themes. This idea of reality, this idea of control, and then this whole idea of what it means to be human, to be a person. Is your identity something that you created, or was it something that was created by someone else or something else? And I love those themes in both of these, but they handle it very differently. And that's where I kind of feel like the similarities kind of end, because at that point, these are different movies. This has more of a noir sci-fi. It has a thriller, murder aspect to it as well. And it has more of that classic film vibe. Whereas with The Matrix, it was more of a really heavily sci-fi take, especially on the second half of the movie. And whenever I watch these now, I have different thoughts on it, because these movies, depending upon your age, your experiences in life, you view things differently. And at least for me, the things that I really enjoyed about both of these, I still enjoy today. But looking back now, I think about things differently, because whenever you're thinking about what reality is, you having control over your life and then your identity, I think a lot of people can identify with that. They work, they have a family for most people, and then a lot of times their identity is typically given to them by the jobs or work that they have. And then them being a parent, that also affects that as well. And then your role in society, all of those things really shape the reality that you have. And now that we're in this whole world of technology, which the Matrix really focus on, you kind of feel like, is this a real life, or are we living in a simulation? And this was also a simulation, but in a different way. This was a simulation of reality, whereas this one was a simulation to keep people as energy batteries, human energy batteries, keep them alive so then they can supply energy for the machines. And so those aspects of both of these movies I find really fascinating. And nowadays, when I think about it, these movies have had a profound impact on me, and I think for a lot of people as well. But now, if I get to actual film itself, which one do I enjoy the most? Which one is my favorite? Well, I will say, objectively, I think Dark City is a better film. This is one that really sticks in your mind for a long time. And whenever I go back and watch it, I kind of learn something new. I see different aspects of the film, because Alex Proyas, as a director and co-writer, he really doesn't give you everything. He gives you time to figure things out on your own. Eventually things do evolve, but even then, this has a lot to it. There's just a lot of different layers. Whereas The Matrix, it has that as well, but I don't think to the same level as Dark City. So that's kind of like my overall thoughts. I think objectively as a film, I think Dark City is better. But as one that I could watch over and over, that I could have a lot of fun with, it's going to be The Matrix. And that's why, overall, this is my favorite out of the two. That's really a hard choice for me. But The Matrix Part 1 is my favorite overall, because I've seen this countless times. I've seen this a lot as well, Dark City, but not as much as The Matrix, because this is a movie that I could come back over and over, just have a good, fun time without too much thought, especially since you already know what's going to happen. Whereas with this one, even nowadays when I watch it, kind of like new thoughts and stuff still are being uncovered, which is why I think the film aspect of it, this is better. But in either case, I absolutely love both of these films, and I think for anybody out there who is a film lover, they probably have similar feelings. But let me know what your thoughts are on either The Matrix or Dark City, or any of your favorite movies that you've enjoyed. And if you did love these movies as much as I did, and you wanted to get these editions and you want to support my channel, I will leave affiliate links in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode.